On this bumpy 50-point inspection from Exhibit A Brewing Company out of Framingham, Massachusetts, I have their demo tape West Coast Style double dry hopped double IPA with Chinook, Centennial, Cascade, and Columbus hops. This comes in at 8% ABV, and it is 2 weeks old at the time of this inspection. Now this is classified as a West Coast IPA, which is known as the American IPA. So let me read what Beer Advocate has to say about the American IPA. It says, today's American IPA is a different soul from the IPA style first reincarnated in the 1980s. More flavorful and aromatic than the withering English IPA. Its color can range from very pale gold to reddish amber. Hops are the star here, and those used in the style tend to be American, with an emphasis on herbal, piney, and or fruity, especially citrusy varieties. Southern Hemisphere and experimental hops do appear with some frequency as brewers seek to distinguish their flagship IPA from a sea of competitors. Bitterness levels vary, but typically run moderate to high, medium bodied with a clean, bready, and balancing malt backbone. The American IPA has become a dominant force in the marketplace, influencing brewers and beer cultures worldwide. All right, let's crack into this one. That's the can art, by the way. Very kind of early 80s, late 70s vibe to it, I would say. And there's Telly. Let's see if he wants to come in. Telly, would you like to come in? Well, yes, I would, but Kobe's gonna go out. All right, good boy. Yes. Good boy. All right. Hi. Hello. Hello. Okay. All right. Hey, I'm gonna get into my beer now. Okay, Telly? Should go drink some water or something. All right, boy. Go, 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 go. All right. So let's get into this now. All right. The head is it's a little bit off-white, kind of a creamy white colored head, fairly tight bubbles throughout, a bit frothy on top. The color of the beer itself is a nice, we'll just say a standard gold coloration, very, very clear, and see some carbonation streaming up through there. On this can it does say what are the C hops? C hops are often refers to classic hop varieties that helped define the West Coast IPA style. They all happen to start with the letter C. This beer is our hat tip to those classic hop varieties and the dank DIPAs that got us loving these hop forward beers. So all right, let's get some aromas now. Lots of talking in this one. Yeah, there's a little bit of a there's definitely a citrusy vibe going on, but I do get some bread from the malt, bit of white bread, a bit of bread crust, a bit of a caramel aroma. Kind of mixes in with that citrusy vibe, gives it a bit of an orange marmalade, kind of sweet. Say maybe a little bit of like a pineapple, grapefruit rind. Bit piney, sweet pine. So sweet orange marmalade, citrusness, sweet pine, and some of that kind of bittering aroma of grapefruit rind. All right, cheers. Let's get into this. So it's a lighter body on this 8% brew. Drying to the palate. It's got a medium carbonation to it. Getting the malt right up front. There's a bit of so those bread notes come through, and then there's kind of a little bit of like a honey thing going on. Kind of sweet, citrusy, up front as well. Grapefruit rinds in there, kind of it's all that citrus and grapefruit type thing going on up front, and then it starts to kind of just linger with a bit of a pine note. So yeah, it's what you expect out of this style of brew. It's clean, I guess. There's no real yeast character playing in this at all. 8%, doesn't drink like an 8%. It's kind of refreshing. Bitterness, I mean, it's got a fairly moderate bitterness to it. It starts off almost from the get-go, right after you get those malt notes up front. As soon as you start getting the citrus and all that, that's when it's like bitter, 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 bitter. Lingering bitterness, though not harsh. So, all right, well, let me jot a score down for this one. I've got a scoring here, an appearance score of 6 out of 6. Good lacing on the glass, meets all the criteria as stated in Beer Advocate there. The aroma's fantastic, like I said, getting quite a bit of the malt, plus the hops are shining through. This is what you expect out of this style, and it delivers in the aromatics, so 10 out of 10. Flavors, pretty much spot on again. I just think there's a little bit off balance. I think just a bit more of a malt presence, a lingering malt presence would have done well. And maybe if there was just a bit more of what the malts were kind of giving off as an aroma, more so in the flavor. It was kind of just the bready and kind of this honey type note. I didn't really get any of the caramel that I was getting out of the aromatics. And the bread was just dialed down a little bit in the flavor. 17 out of 19 for the flavor though. Very nice. The body, like I said, it's a light body for an 8%er. It's easy to drink this one down. It's actually thirst quenching at 8%, so 5 out of 5 for the body. My overall for this isn't my favorite type of an IPA. No, I mean, we always seem to love the New England IPAs, right? But for what it is, this is the style that got me into IPAs. Dogfish Head 60 Minute was my first IPA I'd ever had, and it took a couple tries for me to even enjoy that at all. So this just kind of brings you right back to that old school IPA. So it's nice. It's a nice refresher, of course. Enjoying it though, because it is what it is. You know, this is what you would have expected years ago. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not a big, juicy, thick, soft mouthfeel bomb. It's an IPA. It's bitter. It's got some of the fruit notes there. It's got the pininess as well. So I think I said 9 out of 10 for my overall. And Exhibit A, Brewing Company, with their demo tape West Coast Style Double Dry Hop Double IPA, is going to get a bumpy 47 out of 50, which is going to put this as an excellent beer. Cheers. Thank you all for sticking around through this one. Cheers.